Hey all, Lot here, back with the Digiverse DiveCast. We're going to be doing the Banlist Predictions video because there's a ban list coming out in a week.
That's
Content
sweet.
farm.
That's
Content
sweet.
farm.
EV.
I was gonna say
We're
the
all-
quiet.
We're all talking about the Digimon card give on YouTube does, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, man.
The TCG content videos are by far the most popular videos on our channel. And now if I had any time to edit anything ever, this would be the part where there's like a bunch of flashes on screen of all the TCG content we made having like 50% at best views of the main episodes.
Can I propose an idea?
Sure.
The one clip from Akira getting the headache. He's
Akira!
But it's just TCG content performing significantly worse than normal content.
It performs better in our hearts. We're passionate about it.
Yeah, because it's shorter and easier to do.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, so we're getting this out of the way. All right, these two little fuckers, these gotta go. We're blowing them apart with shotguns. Fuck these stupid little bastards. They need to go.
There is like at this point, I genuinely don't even think there's like any room for arguing about these left. These have been toxic for the game since the last ban list, and have only increased in toxicity since.
Yep.
Like these have not gotten worse; they've gotten better. There is if you watch the YouTube channel East, who covers like specifically the Japanese and like the general Asian side of the TCG. Like if you've been following what's been going on over there, it has just been like ancient Garurumon at the top, Numemon like slightly below, and then like a fucking power gap with everything else under that. And he has pointed out multiple times the reason for that is because the two top decks in the format can make the most efficient use out of Ukkomon.
Yep. This shit sucks.
I'm pretty sure like most every deck can and probably is better off running this.
Yeah, like
not necessarily, but that's part. That's part of why those two decks are so good.
Yeah, because those two decks have like they kind of have like an inherent rookie problem. Like that's supposed to be a problem, but because of that, they more than have the space to run full play sets of both of these, which just another like really strong deck in the format, like Imperial Dramon, literally just does not have the rookie space to play these. Yeah. Like, it is just better for them to play their own rookies. But because of that, they cannot gain the natural speed and advantage that these decks, these two cards give. The way that Numemon and Magna Guru can, because there's like other decks that can basically run full playsets of these, but their top end does not go as fucking crazy as Blue Hybrid and Numemon do.
Yep.
Specifically, like if I had my way, if I had my fucking way, I would limit the promo Ukko. I would flat out ban the BT16 Ukkomon.
Yeah, no, it's really, really bad. For me personally, I feel like just fuck it, Scorched Earth, just ban both of them. I don't want to see these fuckers ever again. I love Ukkomon, little baby man, little baby boy. In the TCG, however, no, die, kill on sight.
I think if they only end up limiting both of them, they also have to add a stipulation that they cannot be used in the same deck.
I would love for them to start doing banned card combinations. That would make a lot of things much easier.
They did it for one of the like it was like the
because it was just a loop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the Galaxy Loop, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Because it was using Grace Nova stuff.
It was using the Grace Nova Tamer in conjunction with like I think Keenan, Zubamon, and a Yamato, I think.
Something like that.
Mm.
That was crazy.
Yeah, but I genuinely think one of these needs to get banned. The other, but even just a limit on both, we just cannot have these two at play sets anymore. This is genuinely what like been These two cards are the most harmful things this game has seen, like, aside from Apocalypse, I think.
Yeah, 100%. They are way too pervasive. They literally double the speed of any deck that can run them effectively, which is the vast majority of decks.
I don't think they're like, I don't know. I think there's a difference between like Apocalypse was just like the most oppressive fucking deck they've ever made, and obviously I think there's a difference between that. I don't think it's quite that bad, but like these cards have been around so long. They only enable specific types of decks to just outspeed everything, and it's like, because like before they've they've banned stuff back, like what was it, 11, 12 format, like Grandis, and like they just kneecapped like Grandis and Malga because like, okay, you're like, we get it, you're sick of these decks, we're fucking limit the promo cards. Okay, it's done.
So my massive issue with like the Ukkomon specifically is that it is not well, in the right deck it is, but it is not an individually oppressive card the way that Apocalypse is. But what it genuinely pushes entire genres of decks out of the game because they just cannot keep up with the pure speed that the top end decks are able to achieve with specifically Ukkomon. Even like really good. Like I was running a test format game against ancient Garurumon with Imperial Dramon, which again, also like a tier 1 deck this format, mind you. And just the level of which I felt like I was getting totally fucking outpaced just because my opponent had an Ukko opening hand, like the 16 Ukko opening in hand that they could slam down on the deck. Just felt like I was constantly, like, in that match, I was constantly playing catch up against them. It is such an unfun state of gameplay.
Yep. Fuck this little bastard. But in the interest of keeping things, kind of brief and punchy, straight into the second. So this is 2 out of the 3 that could possibly get hit. We're talking about Blue Hybrid because we got to talk about fucking Blue Hybrid. So these are the 2 probably primary candidates for getting hit. I believe we pretty much came to the conclusion that the Kendo is probably the bigger problem because it is what it just like sets everything off and gets that deck to Ancient in 2-3 memory at that point.
Literally, and this is like a type of card design that we're seeing again in a recently revealed like fucking blue flare card, but whatever. Where it's just like you literally all you have to do in Blue Hybrid to get to your Ancient Garurumon is meet the condition of have these cards in hand and have a single Koji, doesn't matter which, have a single Koji tamer set up.
Yep.
You fulfill those 2 ridiculously easy conditions, and you just go from a single Koji tamer to your fucking boss monster in like 2 memory.
Yep. It makes the deck able to get to its end board pretty much on turn 1 if you as their opponent are particularly unlucky, which like doesn't sound too unusual for certain card games, but that's not like Digimon's not supposed to operate like this. Digimon should not be a like 2 to 3 turn game.
Well, you can't do a turn 1 because even tamers have summoning sickness.
Yeah. So you do have to, but like literally unlucky enough, turn 1, Blue Hybrid player just like plays the Koji past his turn.
Yeah.
Turn 3, Kendo, Lobo, Ancient.
Within like literally no memory.
Granted, they have to be like exceedingly, but like also like this is why like Ukkomon's the problem in that deck because the way that 16 Ukkomon searches through cards makes it really easy to get like the 1 or 2 pieces you're missing for basically nothing.
Yep.
But again, this is like the extreme case, but it is possible, especially with the Ukkomon. Set Koji, Kendo, Lobo, Ancient, your opponent is like fucking completely outpaced.
Yep. Like if you don't swing back on turn 4 with also getting your basic end game out, you kind of just lose on the spot unless you have some insane thing in security that slows them down. But like, there's not a whole lot that can do that for this deck because of the specific way they are able to snowball like crazy.
And it's also ancient Guru is like an insane boss monster, which can just like it's like it immediately on Digivolve bounces the lowest level thing like on your field. Yeah, on Digivolve or on play even, God fucking forbid. Return your opponent's level with
That's just like that's also the other thing. Just you can't even if you can't even set up all this. Just you can just digi-cross it.
Yeah, it also is a digi-cross.
Why does it have a fucking digi-cross? You could play this
Why
thing for
does it have-
6! What were they fucking thinking?
There is
I
actually
I love that like you haven't even read half the shit this card does.
Because like no one ever talks about the fact. Oh, by the way, you can fucking digi-cross it. Because like what? Huh? What do you fucking mean you can digi-cross?
Isn't it like
this
the
thing?
wrong series?
I mean, I get it because it's the combination of the beast spirit, so it makes sense that like it's just the keyword they use. But like, fucking shut up! No, fuck you.
There's also this option if you've never read this.
Oh god, no. Yeah, I've read this fucking bullshit card.
Yeah.
What is it with the anime screenshot cards and being overpowered?
Wait,
Unless you're
man, I wish that was
specifically the
the case for
Gallimon
Ukkomon.
Yeah. No, like I've heard arguments that like the Kendo, like it's just like you just actually hit the ancient, which I don't think I'd even be opposed to, because like yeah, ancients like enable decks like Ulforce to come back, but it's just like I don't like, or like I think Gabu Bond also uses ancient.
Yeah, that's it's like there's like at worst there's the old ancient Garurumon as well.
Like I just don't think this is a particularly healthy boss monster, but for the sake of argument, and like, you know, we're already hitting that deck pretty severely, so it's like limiting their best Kendo Garurumon, and like even if they want to go for the Digicross, they have to go for like an older, worse Kendo Garurumon, I think would do quite a bit alongside the Ukkomon hits.
Yeah.
But also, like, I'm not gonna lie, if Ancient Garurumon's the one that gets hit, I'm not gonna really shed too many tears about that.
Yeah, no.
I don't like this thing.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where it was much like the Ukkomon thing, where in my heart of hearts, if you really heavily invested in this deck, I apologize. Also, get fucked. I don't care. This shit sucks. Get it out of the game.
Can I be honest for like a second?
Sure.
Uh-huh.
I don't like hybrid decks that much. I don't think that with Tamers being as uninteractable as they are, you shouldn't be able to get out
This
of
has
swing for
literally
free.
been always my problem with hybrid decks, and why I also do not like them.
If you wipe a hybrid player's board and they still have Tamers out, you didn't wipe their board.
You've basically like accomplished nothing against the hybrid player, and with how many decks that aren't like Black War Greymon can just not interact with Tamers, it's such an annoying like state of play.
Finally,
I think
Argomon's time to shine. It just suspends Tamers. It doesn't even fucking stop them. It doesn't matter.
I mean, there's like more decks in the game now that can like delete a tamer or stun a tamer and stuff like that. Like that's something they've absolutely been doing a lot more of since like BT12 and stuff. But honestly, like because hybrid was just like a very solid deck, like red hybrid especially, until like all this stuff from 17 and like kind of 18. But like it was just a very solid deck until Ukkomon rolled around. So I really think it's just stuff like Ukkomon existing is really just what shoves hybrid decks more than anything else.
I'm trying to think of what even really interacts with Tamers all that. I guess like, you know, like Impale Dramon now, like you have the dragon mode that stuns a tamer.
Yeah, there's like a ton of just like a ton of decks more just have like options. Like I think there's like some cards in Jellymon that can like stop a tamer from suspending and things like that.
I mean, yeah, I don't think it's enough is my problem.
Well, yeah,
like,
stunning
it's a
it doesn't
do.
do.
I mean, like Imperial Dramon, like Dragon Mode specifically has the thing where it's like you stun it and then for it's the next turn they can't unstun it basically.
Mhm.
Like it stays suspended. So that is like, like it like you slow them down, but it's like it's literally like one card in that deck and you only do it to a single one and the hybrid decks can play a shitload of fucking tamers like if they wanted to. I s- I don't think it's enough. I don't think there's enough tamer interaction to justify a hybrid deck this fucking good.
Yeah.
It's just annoying.
I think there needs to be more ways to like get rid of a tamer because, like, yeah, you can stun them, but that only stops them from like that doesn't even really stop them. They can still digivolve on top of a stun tamer. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't really do anything because, like, yeah, Rosemon fucking stuns tamers, I guess technically.
Grace Nova, the level 5
Yeah,
does.
like Argo does
But
too, but like it just suspends them. It doesn't.
It's such a like it's such a fragile thing because like there's a lot of tamer like a lot of decks specifically sort of on the, like the lower end who like really need their tamers to
Yeah,
like do things. And that's why like Blackboard Greymon was such a like, like an annoying deck for people to play against because it was literally like, oh well, like my main playmaker I spent like 5 memory on just got deleted. Fuck me, I guess.
like any Digicross focused deck is like just tamer hate. It just kills it.
yeah, and
So it's
I
like it
do understand that. Like,
Like
I,
I
I
get I get your like 'cause I just more than I understand the whole thing of there's not enough, but I think you need to be careful about putting too much
oh, of
into
yeah,
the
course.
game.
I think unfortunately hybrid decks are just a very like it's a very difficult thing to pull off in general in this game because it kind of creates such a delicate state of balance that I think red hybrid has always been like good but not good enough to have been a problem in this regard, but I think blue hybrid has like kind of officially like as much as I still don't like fighting red hybrid, it never went above the point of like, oh, this like hybrid decks are like a problem.
Yeah,
Um,
because I mean,
but
with
blue hybrid
go ahead.
with its like the efficiency with which it can use even a single tamer and how uninteractable at all points like its main like sources of like its main resources are. It like yeah no like no shit, this is the best deck in the game.
Mhm.
I just think tamers should have always remained like mostly like uninteractable. Like I'm fine with like suspending and stunning them, but I
it,
never liked
it
Black or Greymon. I don't know.
it's it's kind of an unfortunate part where it's like, well, you're gonna have to like represent Digimon Frontier at some point, one of the major anime shows, and the big thing with Digimon Frontier was in fact the human kids transforming into Digimon. So
Mhm.
like, just kind of a weird, unfortunate circumstance we were in.
And yeah, then there needs to be tamer and like back row hate in general in the game, or else if they ever print a tamer too good, that deck just becomes unfucking beatable. So like, I just have to ban
Yeah,
it. But
yeah,
again,
it's rough.
but
Yeah,
yeah, before we spend too much time talking about a single thing, next up is I believe this is the card from this particular deck that people want gone.
yeah.
There's like I think like there's like a few you could go for,
Mhm.
but I think like
I
the big ones are either this or like Monzaimon X. Monzaimon
yeah.
X would also be a really good option to hit there.
It's literally either these two, maybe the regular like RB Monzaimon or something, but like generally speaking, people like either go for Numemon X or Monzaimon X.
Mhm.
I
Because they just let you get into those like high levels so fucking easy.
Yep.
like you just read this card real quick, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yep. This card just says that, hey, if this gets deleted, play your platinum from hand. Play
For
your
nothing.
yeah, just play it. You just play it. Play the fucking
Not
card.
from hand, from trash.
But I mean, fucking same thing for this deck.
This is also the inherent in case you like digivolve it into like a Monzaimon or like something and then swing with it. Like
Yep.
and it's like it's such a fucking free card basically because literally you play this it swings, you get a security check and a Nume Platinum, because like it's also 2K, so it's like more than likely going to die. So it's like it's an insane amount of resources like packed into this one card.
And literally just for 0.
Yeah. The funniest thing is that this card would be less good if it had a higher number on it, which is insane.
Yep.
Like buffing the card nerfs the card. The funniest thing in the world. But this card has to be probably just maybe not banned. I don't.
I think it would be fine at 1.
Probably.
Because also like Ukkomon is like both a Numemon and a blue hybrid hit, so they're already losing like a lot of speed with the lack of Ukkomon. So you hit that and you hit this, I think like the deck will be at like a fine power level.
Because like the thing with like this deck is you don't care about your level 3s. You just play like the Ukkomons plus some floodgates, and that's all you care about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because everything revolves around the level 4s, the Numemons and the
And
Monsters.
and like as you can see, this level 4 has a play cost of 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking God, fuck this stupid deck. And this deck has been a problem for what 3 formats in a row now.
Okay, so 15 EX5. Wait, EX5 was before 15, right?
I
think so. Yeah.
Yes, Animal Coliseum and then Exceed Apocalypse. So
okay,
15,
so 15, 16, EX6, BT17, EX7, BT18. 6 fucking formats.
6 formats. 6 formats. This shit has been basically the best deck, challenged only by Blue Hybrid, which I believe now is like the please for the love of God hit this deck.
Yeah, no, Blue Hybrid is like significantly better than Numemon, but then Numemon is like it's literally Blue Hybrid power gap, Numemon power gap, rest of the game.
Yeah. It's disgusting. Like the ban list is definitely going to be targeting these 2 decks. There is no way it doesn't target specifically these 2 decks, not with the fucking numbers that we know exist. The problem is that there are a couple other decks that are also kind of good that will likely catch some strays. So there's nothing. I don't think I actually put any of the Imperial stuff in here because I'm not gonna lie, I don't really think Imperial's gonna get hit.
I mean, I don't think it will, but like you could definitely argue it probably should if because I feel like there's the potential for it to just be the uncontested best deck if both of those 2 get shot in the foot.
Actually I know. Okay, look, bias on the table. I know I'm the fucking Imperial Dramon player here. I actually disagree. Imperial Dramon's numbers have not been significantly greater than other decks like outside of the 2. There was in fact recently like the Japan Asia Grand Open where in like the top like 32 Imperial Dramon didn't even place.
Huh.
I mostly say because I don't think it needs to get hit now. I think my point is just like wait and see what happens after if they hit these 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember like another deck that was doing really fucking good was Dex Dorugora, and apparently that's from at least from what I can tell, that deck just completely fell off.
Yeah. It's kind of in that same. Well, Dex Dorugora still makes results. It's
yeah,
just not
but like it's
high.
no longer. It was like on the level of Imperial for a while, and now it's just really fell off.
I think there's still like you still have Yellow Vaccine, you have Purple Hybrid, you have Red Hybrid currently. You have you have a couple other ones like there's like the currently like there's a really popular like Grace Nova toolbox deck that's like making a lot of results now.
Huh.
What?
It's
interesting.
It's like not actually like sometimes you're on Grace Nova one, but it's mostly just like the Grace, like the lower levels, but with random good blue red level 6s.
Like that like a lot of them now are running like the EX7 Hexablaumon and stuff.
Interesting.
But like I do not believe that Imperial Dramon will just be the uncontested best deck. I think there's actually quite a number of decks now that are about on the level of it that like that would remain pretty contested. I'm also not gonna lie. This was a bit I don't really know what you hit is the problem. because all the hits that you could make, Imperial Dramon can really easily pivot off of. I've already seen decks that only run like one of that BT17 option that seems ridiculous. I've seen like for a while I was thinking maybe the Dragon mode, but I've already seen lists that have like sort of half and half the 16 Dragon mode with the old starter deck Dragon mode and been perfectly fine. And then like the only hits I can see that are like particularly significant to the deck are just like you just kill the deck entirely in a really unfun way. Like if you hit the BT12 rookies, the Paildramon, or the New Daves and Kentamer, like you've just killed the deck.
See, the funny thing about killing those rookies is you'd have to hit so many fucking rookies because, like, I think half of the Vmon and Warmon exist have that end of turn Jawgrass inherent.
It's only the 12 ones.
Well, there's a starter deck Wormon, and I think what's it called? The Wormon, that promo Wormon for the movies has that inherent.
Okay, so you'd have to like make it very warm on. Yeah, so I mean, I don't even think they'd hit the rookies. I don't think they've ever hit a search rookie like that. So like the two real options would be like Paildramon or Cat Davis and Ken, which again, you just actually murder that deck if you do that in like a super unfun way.
Yeah, maybe like I don't even know if touching XVmon or Stingmon would do anything.
I think you could make an argument that because there's like debates between like whether you run like some of the armors or like which Stingmon you run. Uncontestedly, the best level 4 you just run no matter what is the BT12 XVmon.
Yeah.
So you could like hit that. The deck, like people would just pivot to the EX1 XVmon, which would like still give the jamming, but give you less freedom in like your memory manipulation.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a hit they could do.
But for now, I'm like, yeah, you probably don't need to do anything to it. Just leave it alone.
Do not think Imperial Dramon is like nearly the kind of problem that deserves a hit.
It's because like basically just like the current top decks are so fucking dominant that it's really hard to say what will emerge when they're not the things standing at the top.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Anubis. Fuck you, Apocalypse.
Exactly. I'm only biased against Imperial Dramon because I play like kind of rogue things. Can't do shit against it. They're not even necessarily rogue decks. They're just like not as good as everything else currently in the game.
What's next? Oh yeah.
Lot, because I think are we going to talk about yellow vaccine? Because I think that's
glad you fucking brought it up. We need to take this little bastard and punt him through that stained glass window.
Like, I don't obviously armor vaccine is still kind of up there, but I feel like you could argue this card should probably be limited at this point. It's such a generic strong card. It's it has shades of that Geo Greymon they had a while ago, where it's just being able to pull stuff out of your security is so fucking good.
Yeah, this card
is basically a second hand.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean that yellow vaccine just treats the security as a second hand, but this allows pretty much any yellow deck to do that, and I don't like it at all. And I think this little fucker needs to be just set to 1 or
I don't think ban. I do not think ban.
No, he doesn't need to be banned.
But it's so widespread, and I just think it's too good.
Yeah, because especially we're already seeing, because they revealed the I forget what the names, the fucking polar bear stuff from the Liberator novel.
The polar bearmon and Scottymon.
Yeah, and it's they're already looking at those cards that deck's going theoretically is going to run this at 4.
Yep. Fucking blue yellow, and it fucking does security manipulation. So
I would almost more attribute this to something like when we talked about the Ukkomon hit from the fucking same set, actually. Yeah. Where this is just such a homogenizingly good card for yellow that 1, it just makes yellow more annoying to fight, and 2, limits deck building in that color in its entirety.
Unless you have to, as you may have noticed earlier, Bridget, we never brought up this card when we were talking about your Dynasmon deck because they're all data.
Yep.
Me
What's
when I'm
that?
data.
A card that homogenizes a color? I wouldn't know anything about that. Thank God that deck just it stopped being like good, and I no longer
Good.
have to play fucking Bloomlord, and I can move on to other green decks I enjoy playing, like Rose. And I mean, Rose isn't good either, but fuck, just it's one more month, and I get a green deck that's good that I can afford.
But yeah, like in my heart, because I'm going off the previous ban list where 5 were hit, and I think 5's like generally even number to go for in terms of
Mhm.
hits. In my heart, if I were to like give you raw reaction, I think this would be not only the ideal ban list, but the one they're going to do. It's Ukkomon, uh, let's say Kendo Garurumon for now,
Yeah.
Numemon X, Patamon.
Mhm.
That's that like hardline in the sand. I think that's the best ban list that they can do, and that's the ban list I think they might actually do.
Yep. That would be the absolute ideal. I
Just
think.
my
Go ahead.
fucking fear of my god is just like, please just don't be a underwhelming ban list. Just
Yeah.
actually be impactful.
Like
The dark timeline is they don't limit either of the Ukkomons.
no, there's no way. There's
There's
no
no
way they
way,
don't
like,
touch those.
if there's
I
anything to hit in this game right now, it's one of them, at least.
genuinely, and I'm saying this because I genuinely don't think there's like any way they're not going to hit. If they don't hit either Ukkomon, I think the game's in trouble. Just
Yeah,
dead ass.
Yeah.
straight up.
Yes.
If they don't touch the problem card of both of the decks making the game unfun right now, yeah, the game's not gonna be in a good spot.
We should we should bring back the plans to make our own our own tournament.
I do have a decent amount of faith that this will be an impactful ban list just because of how fucking devastating the last ban list was for the status quo of
Yeah.
that game.
Yeah, no,
Like they tore that meta to shreds.
yeah, they did not care. They were so like finger on the trigger. They were just like, "Hey, Western side of things, you get 2 weeks of playing with the new cars before we take it out back behind the shed and just blow its fucking brains out." Like,
I think the funny part about that ban list was there were so many people that were like, "Oh, it's not Apoclymon's not gonna get limited to one.
yeah,
It's a
it's like
secret rare."
it's a
Like,
secret. It just came out in like it hasn't even been out yet in the Western. There's no way they would do this, and they were just like, "Not only are we doing that, it goes into effect 2 weeks after the cards come out in the US. Get fucked."
there was a guy at my locals. I think I told this story already, but that was like on the last video, so it's a new video, so it doesn't count. Um, who was like, "Oh, Apoclymon's not really a problem,"
Yeah, no,
and I
Yeah.
and I was like, "What?" And I was like, "No, it's a problem, and so is Anubismon." And he was like, "No, it's not." And I'm like, "Are you stupid?"
Yes.
And I think
Uh,
the funnier part of me thinking that about him is that he like consistently gets like first and like first through third at those locals.
man.
man.
But I
Yeah.
think if we were to like make the most hardline prediction, I think that's where it like kind of stops. But are there any other cards that we
Yes. Momo brought up an option card as an alternative to hitting specifically Magna X, which is this old option card, which now that I'm reading it, yeah, what Jesus Christ, this card. Holy fuck.
Because, like, I think, like, it was not a big deal before, but, like, if you want to, like, because I guess, like, I don't know. I don't know what, like, I guess, like, I could see Magna X, like, rising to the top out of
Mhm.
all this stuff, or, like, or, like, Armor Vaccine, like, either of those. And, like, if you don't want to just, like, limit another secret rare, like, because obviously Magna X is the be all end all of that deck. Like, if you don't want to do that,
Yeah.
like, I think this is, like, something that helps it, like, would slow it down a lot, because, like, Magnamon X costs a lot to Digivolve into, and having this just lets you slide into it from, like, Magnamon or regular Magnamon or any other armor.
Literally any
and it's
armor
like
card, yeah.
this card was like not a problem when it came out because like the old Magna X that came out in this set with this was like good. Like it was a good card and a good competitive deck, but it was not pay free option. Go into a towers.
Yeah.
Because what's it called? Rapidmon has the similar card now, right? Too.
Yeah, but it's not
But
as
Rapid,
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
even in like Armor Vaccine, where your top end is like both Magna X and Rapidmon X, you still just run this. I don't think you ever bother with the other one.
Yeah. As far as like unlimits or stuff like that, I don't think there are any particular things.
I saw someone, I think it was on the Reddit, that was like, we should unlimit Greymon X, and I was like, no, we shouldn't.
I mean, maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna say like absolutely it needs to, but I'm like probably could.
You probably could at this point. I've seen a lot of people say the old Shoutmon crossfork can get on like unlimited now.
It really depends. That one I'm like it really depends on what this new stuff looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They might
because I feel like a lot of people forgot that card just was an OTK enabler.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're making the ban list with like the knowledge of the new sets, they're probably taking that into account.
Yeah, like they know what the cards are going to be,
Yeah.
you know.
And of course, I have my usual advocacy.
Oh
HVD
boy,
could be at
this
4.
guy
Nothing.
Get this guy out of here.
Nothing would change.
Hey, why don't they? Hey, maybe they should unlimit EX2 Impmon. Huh?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
What about
Nothing.
Blossomon?
But yeah, they could unlimit Blossomon. Blossomon's just a fucking. Blossomon's just a free level 5 that doesn't do anything in this game anymore.
Unlimit Ice Ball. Fuck it.
no, Ice Ball. You can't unlimit it. No, Blossomon, you absolutely could unlimit. That card doesn't fucking do anything.
Let me see here. You could fucking unlimit the promo like Grand Kawagamon. The fuck's that still doing here? Jesus Christ.
No, listen. They unlimit Ice Wall, but they stipulate that if you're playing Ice Wall, you have to play all 4 copies in the same turn, just because it's funny.
There's one that I've been seeing some people say could get unlimited. I don't know, like it became a little more dodgy when like Dexter-Rugamon became like a prominent deck, but how do we feel like Momo? I'm sure you've looked at it. How do you feel about the idea of the old Doru Greymon coming back to 4?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I don't
know.
I don't think that card would be a problem at all nowadays.
Like,
yeah.
Wait, I need to look at the reasoning because I forget. Like, because I know I have Sec +1, but I forget if that was the only reason.
It's the BT7
basically
one, right?
basically like the reason it was banned or limited is because like Alphamon's whole thing was you would tuck more X antibody cards underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you would go into or you'd be swinging and you'd have like 2 or 3 Doru Greymons underneath, so you'd be doing like Sec +2, Sec +3 swings.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if Alphamon's good enough, right? I don't know. I don't know if like they.
And it doesn't really do too much. It doesn't really do too much for the Dexter-Ruga variants of like Dorumon. I assume
it's a solid card in there too. It's just kind of a case of like, I don't know. Is the game progressed enough to where this card doesn't matter right now? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Because just being able to tuck because it's so easy to tuck these under your fucking Digimon, so it's so easy to make an Alphamon or a Doru Goromon that has Sec +2, Sec +3.
Yeah, it might still be too easy, but like.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and the speed of the game is at a point where like if they print more support later, that makes it even easier. Uh-oh.
And
yeah, you always have to.
And Alphamon and Dex Dorugoromon are decks that like are able to swing multiple times very easily. So
yeah, this is like the thing that you always have to like think about when it comes to unlimits, because it's like, yeah, like right now, like there's nothing Greymon related good enough for like the X antibody to like matter to a point where it becomes a problem again. But like, it's fucking Greymon, so at any point, any version of Greymon, like fucking Grey Bond or something, could even get like a wave of support that makes it fucking ridiculous. And then, oh shit, unlimiting this card would turn out to be a really, really fucking bad idea.
Yeah,
I think we just had this weird little era, era of the game where like the last proper wave of Greymon support was BT14, and it was mostly just kind of bad.
Yeah.
Yep. People have forgotten.
But like that's like, I think just the problem you will literally always run into with this kind of stuff, where it's like, yeah, right now maybe this card is fine, but like at any point, again, another wave of support comes out. And then you just hit like the fucking Yu-Gi-Oh problem where certain cards are like constantly ping-ponging on and off the ban list again, and it's just really fucking annoying.
Yeah.
We need to. I don't know. I think we should make Greymon X the Destiny Hero malicious of the Digimon card game.
We're gonna create a semi-limited list just for Greymon X antibody.
They should make Exodia for Digimon.
They tried making that. It's that fucking
Doomsday Clock.
It's Doomsday Clock, which sucks ass.
Oh god.
Oh, does it? That's so sad.
Well, it's like it's cute, but like you'd rather just play regular Diaboromon.
But not like I'm not gonna go into it too much. But there is an argument that to be made. But you should maybe like have anything between band to 1 and to 4 that some of these cards could live under.
Yeah,
but that's a whole separate thing.
Like you could I feel like some of these absolutely like fucking Greymon X, stick that at 2. No problem. I think that would probably find it like 2.
Yeah.
I think like I don't because like I'm not sure about like completely unlimiting the Immon, but like you can like put it in like a holding cell for a little bit instead of completely going to jail.
I would say I kind of view being like I don't think they need to bother trying to put cards at 3 because that strikes me as very much like semi-limiting in Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's like this doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
But I think that there should be a pool of cards that are better than at 1 or at 4 or at 2.
Yeah, I think that's something they should try.
Yeah, I think reducing the consistency of getting a card to exactly half is like a good middle ground for things that are like definitely too good to be at 4, but they're not that good. They can get 2 of them. Like that Dora Gray would be perfect at 2.
Immon to 2.
No, that Immon, that Doro Gray, those would be perfect at 2. There would be no issues with having those at 2. HPD, perfect at 4, but I'd settle for 2.
We know this.
But yeah, I don't think there's any other hits that we want to see. I think we're pretty laser focused on. We think these need to be the things that they get. Like the game would be better off without.
I think Ukkomon, like obviously, like other than the facility for Blue Hybrid and Numemon, I think Ukkomon is just such a sweeping hit to many decks in general that it probably does the job.
Yep, but just in case, also take a bat to the knees, just to be safe.
Like, I haven't checked. I admittedly don't check a bunch of like armor lists and like Yellow Vaccine, but I assume even some of them run Ukkomon.
Probably.
Literally any deck that does not have 12 rookies they cannot go without will run an Ukkomon because it is just that good of a card.
I mean, yeah, like Grace Nova ran Ukkomon because it literally only had 8 rookies that it could run.
Yeah. Bloomlord ran Ukko because it was a fucking fairy, and also that deck that card accelerated that deck like fucking crazy. It's just that immediately the next format after, a couple other decks came out that kind of ruined its life. So, and then Bugs came out, and everyone was just like, "Oh, thank God, we don't have to play fucking Bloomlord anymore. It's been 2 years."
I like to imagine because like they know that they're syncing up the sets now. Is like we wake up to the ban list like next week or whatever it's coming out, and there's like the last card on that list is like out of fucking nowhere, and it's part of a deck that's not that strong, and we're like, what the fuck are they planning?
Oh my god.
What do they know that we don't?
Yeah, they hit like they hit like a random fish card, and I'm just like
they've already hit fish. In my heart.
No, not that fish.
No, my fish, good fish that's fun and cool.
Banned Zenjiro.
I mean, I'm constantly getting hit with bats anyways, so I think maybe the fish should get some red. Oh boy, you really think that?
No. Anyway, we're gonna call it there for the night, everybody. Everyone say goodbye.
Everyone hit me with bats.
Don't do
I'm hitting Ukkomon with a bat. Come here.
Yeah, come here, you little bastard! You little fucking piece of shit!